What's going on, guys? Ryan here, and today we're going to be working on the laundry room renovation, and more specifically we're going to be working on the electrical. I don't know if we're going to do anything else in this video, but next week is the week where I have to get a lot of, I'm going to have to finish this room. So this week I need to do quite a bit before I can get to that part next week. And what I'm really talking about is, okay, the walls need to be done, right? The electrical still needs to be done for this wall and part of this wall. And this wall is where the electrical panel is. And if I cover all that up, I don't really have access to it anymore. So I need to get all of this done in here. I need to move where the thermostat wire comes out of the floor because it kind of just comes out of the floor to the left of the furnace, and I need it to be, I would like it to be in the wall and come out through the wall. I'm waiting on the new thermostat wire, and it's going to come in probably in a couple days. So I do have a couple days before I have to start with the floor, because I'm going to have to do the floor before I do the drywall and paint, because I realized that doing the self-leveler is a little bit easier and doing the flooring when there aren't any, there isn't any drywall on walls. If you have it all open like this, you get to kind of move around a little bit more and step on the bottom plate in the wall, so you don't have to step in the self-leveler. It's just a little bit easier without having the walls there. But that also brings up an issue where if I do the floor and flooring first, and I want to do the drywall, it's going to be a complete mess in here. So I have to cover everything in basically thick cardboard paper, which is called ram board, and I'm gonna have to lay it all out and tape it down, and then I have to do everything else in this room. It's gonna be a lot of work, and one of these days when I do the flooring, I have to take the water heater out, so we won't have hot water. We'll have regular water, just not hot water, which is okay if I do it early in the morning to try to get it ready to go for flooring the next morning, so then I can get the water heater put back. There really isn't a way for me to leave it. There isn't a way for me to raise it up and off the floor and keep it off the floor. There's just not a way for me to do that, just because of how heavy it is, especially when it's filled with water. And I don't really want to be doing that when Ellie's gone next week, because I filled up the week with all the other stuff, like the drywall and the paint and the texture and all that. So I need to get this done ASAP, and it's gonna really suck, because I'm gonna be doing stuff in the middle of the night. I know already, and especially because it's still getting really hot. Today's supposed to be a high of 87, but currently it's about 72 outside, and it's 9 a.m. and it's just gonna get warmer. Sadly, all next week is gonna be hotter and hotter. This Thursday and Friday are going to be above 100. Next Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday are going to be 100. So it's going to be really hot. So I'll probably have to do a lot of this stuff later on, maybe early in the morning or super late at night. So that's just going to be really fun for me. With all that being said, we're going to start with the electrical. So on this wall, we have one outlet that's going to be in this room on this wall. Then there's that outlet and that outlet that goes to the new dining room area. Then we have this outlet right here that goes to where the freezer is going to be, which is going to be about right here. Originally, we were going to have an upright freezer, and so the outlet would be covered. But now we're going to have a chest freezer, which the outlet is not going to be covered. But that's not really a problem. The only problem is the freezer is going to have to probably stick away from the wall a little bit to allow the lid to come up without hitting the outlet, which is fine. We also have an outlet right here that goes into the old dining room area, which is actually unplugged currently. It doesn't work. And then we have this outdoor outlet right there that is also disconnected. And so this one, I'm going to run a wire down to it and be on its own circuit, and then maybe eventually I could technically either keep this here and then put a new box up near like the soffit and the eaves or whatever. And then anywhere else, including like on the other side of the house, I can just run it off of this one. But I still need this one to be plugged in because we actually would like to have an outlet outside. And I also forgot to mention that this switch box is in the new dining room, and it's going to be controlling the dining room and the living room light. And I need power to this. So I need power to one of these boxes because I'm thinking to hooking these three together and then having power to go to there and then power going to that one. But I don't know if I'm going to run this one to connect to the one back here going to the old dining room, or I'm going to figure out where this wire goes up or where it is supposed to be going. And I think it's actually over there, just chopped. So I'll probably have to run a brand new wire and see if I can connect it there too. But I don't know if that's going to be its own circuit or it's going to be connected to this one. I only have 5 spaces left in my panel, and that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, and that would be 5. And so I really don't want to do that. I would like to have some left. I would like to have like at least 2. Because I probably won't be rewiring anything else in the house. Because I need this wall open, and I really don't want to leave it open, and I don't want to take it all down again and then redo it some other time. Although it wouldn't be the end of the world doing it, but it definitely would be a lot easier to do it now. But all the other rooms are accounted for. The dining room over here, the only issue is that these 2 outlets aren't connected to anything, and they need to be. And I think it would be possible and okay if those outlets that go to that room connect to these outlets in here. It can't be perfect, and I think perfection is what is preventing me from continuing. Perfection is what's keeping me. Perfection is like blocking the good or the good enough or the it'll be fine. It's fine, you know. But I have some decisions to make, and I don't know how I want to run all these wires. So I have to figure that out before I do it. And again, it is getting hot up there or outside, and so it's going to get hot up in the attic. And it's really dusty up there. Really, a lot of the loose insulation just kind of goes everywhere. And I'm not really looking forward to that. But I could end up doing it tonight when it gets cooler. There's not really a big difference. Or I can just do it early in the morning, which I should have done today. But I had to get this room ready for all this work. That being said, I have to figure this out. So I really should have done this kind of stuff in the morning before it got hot, because it's going to take a long time for it to get cool so I can go up in the attic. But from the last few, like the time-lapse clips, and from now, I've done a few things, but I also just want to show you everything that I did anyways. So to start with, I got these wires in and all these 3 outlets wired up. I got all the holes drilled for those, obviously, and the hole drilled for these 2. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take the power from the panel up and over to this outlet, up and over and down here to go to this hole and across to get to this outlet. Because I honestly, thinking about it, I would rather have as minimal, you know, as I want these wires coming down to be as few as possible in as few places as possible. So if I need 2 wires to come down, can they come down in the same hole? Even if it needs to travel a little bit further, I think that's fine. So for this outlet, to connect it to this one, I would have had to cut it, like drill it here and down. But instead I'm going to go down this one because this is already going to have a couple here and this one here. And it would have been, I originally wanted the power to come here, go across, go up and over into there, and then either up and over again to there, or across to that one behind it, and then have another one there, and then I have another one coming down here. So why not I cut this one out and basically move this one over to here to match this hole, and that one could just be where the power comes in. If I eventually want to get this changed out, I'll just deal with getting it changed out and having probably this box connected at some other point in time. But besides that, the other thing I did is I went around and added this blocking in for when I do the baseboard, so it has something to actually like nail into. And I did end up adding these little metal plates here, because in some places like this one, this pipe is massive and it's part of the plumbing, and I don't want to nail anything in it, so that'll protect it. And I put some here with the wires, and most of the time, like over here, I don't really need it, just because the distance between the face of the 2x4 to the start of the hole is 1.25 inches, and I guess that is the minimum distance between, you know, the edge of the stud to the hole. And then if it's any closer, you need these plates. I have quite a few plates, and I think it would be just safe, you know, a safe thing to do is just put them here, because later on I'm going to add this like built-in bench thing, organizer here, and if I need to, for whatever reason, to attach it to the wall, and it's going to be attached down here, I don't want to hit those wires. But I also did it up here, and you could tell that it's missing a couple, like it's missing that one and that one, because I can't get it in underneath the drywall unless I like pry those, like they're like kind of spike fins. If I pry them out and then kind of shove it up in there, I could do it, but I don't really have to do that. Like I said, it's not really required unless the hole is too big or, you know, too close. But I did add these because that's where that pipe goes, and that's where some wires are, and those are really large holes too. This one is, I just will have to remember when I do the drywall that there is this pipe here, and I'm going to have to attach it there, and attach it there, and there, and there. So I miss those metal plates completely. And I already did these a long time ago, so that's why there's two doubled up there. But I've just kind of been doing a couple of things around the house, like a little bit of laundry, that's what you're hearing now, and then I need to actually clean up and get ready to get in the attic very soon, and I think that's what I'm going to be doing. Alright, so I have some good news, and I have some bad news. It's currently 10:54. It's about 71 degrees outside. I just got down from the attic. I'm talking quietly because it's quiet, and I am tired. But good news is that I got these wires down and figured out on both sides. I'm going to waste quite a bit of wire, I think, but it's pretty hard when you're up there by yourself and you have someone down here who doesn't really know a whole lot about this. But that's totally fine. And it's also like, I wish I could be in two places at once, because then I would know how much wire I need. But I think she did a really good job. I was the one that messed up first, so actually she didn't mess up at all. So let me correct that. You didn't mess up at all. I did. So I wasted some wire, but I'll probably be able to use it somewhere else. But I think I'm done for the night. I need to take a shower. I'm really dirty, really itchy, and really hot and sweaty. Bad news is I think we have to take all this popcorn ceiling, that drywall, we need to take it down. And I'll probably try to explain it really quickly if I can. The roof is, I think they're called gable ends. On this side of the house and this side of the house, they're gable ends. And so the roof meets this wall at like a very like at the very end, it's like this big. Like literally it goes like this. And over in this area where all these wires come down into the panel, it's extremely tight. I'm talking tight. And it would be possible to do it, to come over here on my belly and crawl. But the only thing between me and in here is this really like delicate drywall. Drywall is not that strong. It cannot hold a person's body weight. So, because all the ceiling joists, they run this way, and they also get down to a very tiny angle, like tiny, just very tiny. It gets really cramped over here. My goal was to take all these loose wires and take them out of that space and then put these new wires in over here. And I'm glad I didn't start with being over here to begin with, to fish them up this way, because there was no way I would have grabbed it. I think it might have been possible, but we probably would have been up there. I would have been up there for a lot longer and probably would have fallen through the ceiling. And so although doing what I just did, I didn't need to do it, but it would be better to do it now, because what I'm going to do is take this whole section of popcorn ceiling drywall out and get rid of it. Then I have access to a lot of wire that I like, excess wire that I put up there, and I'll pull it, because I'll have all this access up here. All the insulation will be gone. It's all loose fill, so it'll all just come down and be thrown away like all the other. And I think I do have enough. If I don't have enough, I think I have enough insulation that I can cover all of the space, no problem. The problem is, if I don't, I will have to get some more. And insulation is pretty expensive. But I think need to get more drywall, because I don't think I have enough of this. And up in the ceiling, it's 3/4. On the walls, it's half. And so I need probably to get more. Kind of sucks, but it'll give me access to pull all that down. It'll give me access to all this. And I just have to say to my past self, you should have wired this wall. You should have wired the whole room before you took all this drywall and installed it and all the insulation, because you had so much access to up there. So that was the bad news, was that I'm going to have to do more work. Because originally I was just going to remove the popcorn, but now I have to remove the drywall and then install new drywall, which means it's going to add more time and more effort. But I think it'll be good in the long run, because the joint between the new drywall and the old drywall is really, really bad, which is not good. And even though the joints are not perfect, and they're not really what they should be, because anyways, it's gonna be fine. This room is not perfect. There's plenty of areas where it would have been better if we had like a drywall lift, or maybe even a third person, but it was just me and my dad. And I really didn't want to remove any more drywall in the ceiling. And I probably won't for the rest of the house, to be honest with you. It's just a lot of work. It's heavy, it's dirty, it's messy, and I don't want to do it again. But I'm going to have to for this room. It's just the way it is. That'll give me enough access to get those wires out of there, fish through the new wires, through, wire it up, and it'll be ready to go. And I think once I get the drywall in the ceiling replaced, and then these like last little things wired up, I think I'd be ready with insulation and then doing the rest of the drywall. And then that's when I could do all the mudding. But before I do the drywall, I'm going to do the flooring. And I know it might be, I think it would just make more sense to do the flooring first than the drywall, because I really don't like messing with the flooring when there is drywall, It's a little bit harder to install, and I just don't want to mess with it. So that's that. This video seems like it's pretty long, but I'm going to come back on tomorrow, finish wiring these little few outlets, wire up what I have. I'll probably also wait, but wire up this outlet. I'll wire the outlet up, fish the line through, but I won't hook the line into the panel because I want to do all three at the same time. And I also found out that this outlet that I said is not connected is connected. This outlet back here, this is a live wire. I'm not quite sure where it goes. I may have written it down when I did all my testing to figure out what rooms go to which breaker. I may have figured that out. I may have written that down, but I could be wrong. With that being said, I'm only adding 3, and I don't have to. I have an outlet that actually works, so that's good. I didn't think it worked, but I double checked, and it works. So with that being said, I'm done for the night. I'm gonna go take a shower. It's about 8 o'clock now, and it's about 87 degrees out, getting cooler and cooler by the minute. I got my long sleeve on. I just came out from underneath the house. I had a plan, but it changed because I forgot about all the crap that's over here underneath the house. So first I kind of wanted the thermostat wire to come up from this wall, probably there or here. And I was going to basically drill a hole that's basically on the outside of this, on the face of it. Kind of like how they did the HVAC here, how it's like this is just air. But I forgot that the air duct comes out this way and comes out right here, because when I opened it I realized it's right there. Forgot about it. I forgot that it doesn't just cut through this way. Then when I crawl down here, I saw the drain line here runs back behind here. So it's extremely tight underneath the house in this area. So instead of doing that, I checked over on this side, and I'm gonna end up drilling this. It was a drain line that was right here. I sadly won't use it again. Eventually, if I have to use it again, which I'm not going to because the thermostat wire, but I could technically just drill a new one, or that might not even be where the sink's going to be. But even if it was, this hole is going to be used. Easy access. There are a couple holes over here, but with the drain lines, and there was like a little weird puddle underneath there, I didn't want to mess with it, and then when you kind of scoot the insulation away, a bunch of insulation and dust falls out. So I didn't want to mess with that. I'm going to use this hole. I'm going to come up, go through this hole, that hole, and then I'm going to go around, and I'm going to drill a hole on this one and this one, and then after that, you drill a hole down here, and then you come out and up and follow this and right inside. So now, after I figured that all out, I have to go, one, I have to actually drill the holes and stuff, and then 2, I have to go on the other side of the house where the thermostat sits and where the wire starts, and I need to test a couple things, and I also need to get the new wire started by feeding it, basically snaking it back up where the thermostat currently sits. And when I do that, I have to turn off the AC. So it's kind of been running for the last hour-ish, trying to get it down to 68. It hasn't got there yet, obviously, since it's still running, but the house is pretty cool. Ellie's a little cold, and Even though I have a long sleeve shirt on, I got my little Ryobi fan here, and I'm drinking plenty of water, so I shouldn't get too hot. Do you hear that? The AC's on. It's running. It's working. I have the wire routed. I got the old wire out. I even changed the thermostat because Home Depot has several different thermostats, and I tried to get one of those like Google Nest, I think that's what it's called, a while ago, and it doesn't work with heat pumps, and I don't really know why. I don't know why they can't work with it, but we have a heat pump, and it makes a lot more sense to have a thermostat that actually works with our unit. So I had to take it back, and I think the other one works with a heat pump, but we just didn't want it, and it was way too expensive, and I think the rebate wasn't, like, we would still have to spend a lot of money. But I got a cheaper, I got like a $75 one, I think. It's this Honeywell Home RTH 6500WF, and it is Wi-Fi enabled, so that's kind of cool. But I got this one specifically because I can schedule it. I can have a 7-day schedule, and that's exactly what I wanted. Our old one didn't have that at all, and it doesn't make any sense not to have it, to be honest. But it kind of sucked that like every day at a certain time, like I would have to change it myself. And I think actually, I don't know what the like Wi-Fi capabilities are, if you can change like from cool to heat, or you can change the temperature, or you can take it off the schedule and just do manual. But I don't know anything about it yet. I haven't even I haven't connected the thermostat to the Wi-Fi at all yet. But I did end up running everything the way that I talked about, so I ran it through this, ran it there, and I actually had fitted a very short piece of this Romex, and I like curved it so it can fit through that hole to that hole, and I just taped it together and I pulled it through because I didn't think this wire was like stiff enough to curve to bend. And it comes out over here, and then I have quite a bit extra, especially in the unit, and I'm going to zip tie it with the other one over here in the back, and then just let it go through the wall, and now it'll be all loose, I think. And then after that, I took this off, I wired everything up the way it was. I changed some settings on the thermostat for my unit, because when it first comes, when you turn it on and it connects, it doesn't know what like type of system you have, and it just defaults to like a regular electric furnace. And so I had to change some settings, and then change another setting to let it actually have cold air rather than just lukewarm air coming out. But anyways, it seems to work. I haven't tested the heating yet, but I'm not going to until a little bit, maybe tomorrow. But I am hot, I'm dirty, just like yesterday. I do have to say, tomorrow I'm going to be doing the flooring. I'm going to do the self-leveler, and I'm going to do the flooring because Ellie's going to be gone all day. And she's going to be gone actually pretty early in the morning, which is good, but also not too great. Tomorrow, so the self-leveler, actually, I need to stop myself because this video has to end. It's getting pretty long. I think the next episode will be the self-leveler and the flooring, and then after that, it'll probably be drywall and installation and drywall. So that'll be it for today's video. I don't think there's anything else I have to talk about or mention. But if you liked it, be sure to smack the like button as hard as you can. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and turn on post notifications. I'll see you guys all next time.